Here's the problem now. Most Hong Kong people, they can't speak Mandarin, though they can understand, but they can't speak well. I'm also one of the Hong Kong people, but of course I try to study, to learn. I try to teach the pronunciation so that I can do better. But you know that I'm not a native mainland Mandarin speaker. All mainlanders also speak in different accents, so don't think that all of them speak Peking accent. Even though some come from Peking, they might not speak exactly Peking accent. So if you just want daily conversation, you want to understand, you want to communicate, actually it's all right that you just learn how to grasp some basic pronunciation. You don't need to get the Peking accent or to get the examination. It's so hard, you know. Yeah, Hong Kong people, most Hong Kong people can speak English well. Mandarin, we can speak well. Even though we use the same written language, actually it's easier for us to learn. But you know that why Cantonese people cannot learn Mandarin well? Because we have never learned how to pronounce Cantonese. We were born to speak Cantonese. We never learned how to pronounce Cantonese. Not like those English speakers or Mandarin speakers. They have to learn how to speak. Because if not, they also speak their local dialects. But Cantonese people, we never learn how to speak Cantonese. We never know how to pronounce. So even you want to learn Cantonese from your partner, she cannot teach you Cantonese. Have you ever asked her to teach you Cantonese? No, because she never know how to pronounce. You know that? Yeah, they themselves even know why they cannot teach you. If you ask them how to pronounce that sound, can you teach me what tone, what romanization letter, which is the initial, which are final? They don't understand. They don't know. I just pronounced that when I was still a baby, so you just follow me. And then when you can't catch it, and then you ask it, please tell me what tone, what letters. In the sound, they don't know. Not to say that they can teach you Mandarin or they can pronounce Mandarin well, because actually the sounding system are similar. They also use romanization letters, initial and final, to make up the sound, different parts to make up the sound. So the sounding system actually are very similar, but the sound itself is different. Okay? Even we use the same letter, for example, the GTC sound, we use different letters to represent. In Mandarin, we use JQX, but in Cantonese, we use GTC. Mandarin, they will pronounce it z, c, c. You need to use more force. Not so easy to pronounce. But for GTC, it's so easy. Just like saying GTC, it's easy. This GTC sound, you can also find it in Mandarin. They use different letters to represent this sound. So you will mix up. So only for a few romanization letters, I can say some sound, you might confused, but actually they have a similar sounding system, similar with romanization letters, and the way they pronounce also have the same technique. For example, when we say bao, I think you like dim sum in Hong Kong, right? Have you ever heard char siu bao like that? Char siu bao, okay, like that. Okay, so in Cantonese, it is bao. In Mandarin, it is also bao. Not quite similar, right? The letters are different. The letters to represent the sound are different. But the sounds, when you heard about it, it sounds similar, right? Bao and bao sounds similar. But actually they are different because different letters, if you have studied, if you learn how to pronounce, then you know that different letters represent different way of pronouncing. Okay? So in Mandarin, it is a B-A-O. And B is the initial, A-O is the final. So every sound made up of initial and final. You know what's initial? That means the beginning, right? You know English, right? Beginning. And then the ending part is final, okay? So every sound made up of beginning and ending, that means initial and final. But each initial or each final, it doesn't mean that they only have one part of sound, all right? There can be a few parts of finals in every sound, which make up every word. All right? It sounds quite difficult for you to understand, but for a Cantonese speaker, for Mandarin speaker, it will be easier to understand if we really know how to pronounce, if we have learned the pronouncing system. But because most Cantonese people, they have never learned. So for the Mandarin people, when they learn Cantonese, it's easier for them because they have already learned romanization. They have already learned the letters. representing the sound. They have already learned how the sound are made up. Alright? So even for them it's easier, but for Cantonese, they never learn, they never know. Even the sounds are similar, they cannot make it exactly. They will say, it sounds the same. So there is a joke when the Cantonese want to learn to speak Mandarin, they believe that, it's just similar, you just change it a little bit. For example, in Cantonese it is fa, and then in Mandarin it is hua for flower, you know that way? You buy a flower, okay, and buy fa in Cantonese to your partner. But in Mandarin you will say, 买花, okay? 花and fa sound similar. And then when the Cantonese people try to use Mandarin, they will think that, just similar. You just say fa or hua or something like that, right? They never make it exact. So even for the bao sounds similar. Actually, it's different. In Mandarin, it's bao. That means the o you means have to make your mouth in the O shape, circular. Okay. So after open O, your mouth wide. Ba. Okay. Ba is baba for father. And we add a o is o sound. Okay. So bao. You end with a round shape. Okay. This is what I want to emphasize because those Cantonese learner, those Mandarin learner, no matter what nationality, British, American, okay, when they learn it, I have to make clear that when you sound the letter O sound, romanization, not English, so don't sound as O or O, okay, because letter O in English can have a few sounds, okay. So one sound is O, okay, for example, O for go, right? But no, in our Mandarin or Cantonese, it is round shape, all like this. And then for Cantonese, the letter U is wu sound, okay? So for Cantonese, it is protruding your mouth in your ending part. So you must make every part of your sound clear from initial to the ending. So, and then the middle is R, you have to open your mouth wide, so it is bao. And then keep your ending part. Bao, okay, protrude your mouth. But for Mandarin, the ending part is O, but it is the same, have an A in between. That means you have to open your mouth wide in between. And then the initial is also B. So that is the similarity. But the difference is the ending part. Sounds similar, but the ending part for Mandarin pun, you have to end with the O shape. So it is bao. You can see that. So bao zi. Bao. Okay, so you can see the O shape. But in Cantonese, say bao. You can see the mouth protrude. Bao. Okay, so to you it's similar, but for the later you are not correct or not exact. Okay, because there's a little bit difference in between. So why can't the Cantonese pronounce Mandarin well? Because they never learned that. What have you said about it? What bao and bao? I think the same way. What you say is different. So if you have learned that, you learn that the ending O, of course, different from ending U. So you know that different letter, of course, a different pronunciation. So for each letter, you have to pronounce it well. For actually, we also have a O, letter O in Cantonese. It is the same sound. O. So the sound are different. It's a little bit protruding. But because it is still a round shape, okay? So it sounds similar, but it is protruding. So it is one is Mandarin is bao, okay? Cantonese is bao. Can you hear a little bit difference? Can you? Yes, good. Okay. So if you haven't studied, you cannot teach people. And then if you want to look for Mandarin, native Mandarin speaking people, of course it's good. But even they are better than Cantonese because at least they have learned. But it doesn't mean that they have learned well. If he is native English speaker, then sure he can speak English well. No, you know that now I'm in the US for a few years already. Some say, my eyes is red. He wants to say that my eyes are red, but he used my eyes is red. I say that, are you native? He say, yes, I was born here. But why you say my eyes is red? It's abnormal. When you're native, you will speak your eyes are red, or my eye is red if I want to emphasize. So you won't make that kind of mistake. That kind of mistake only belongs to non-native because they are thinking. They are not used to use my eyes, okay? So when they want to say about the eyes, then they will just think about the word and face to make up a sentence. If you don't study well, if you don't use well, if you don't pay attention to any language, even your own native language, you cannot make the sound well or make the word well or the grammar well. To learn Mandarin, not just to learn except pronunciation, you also have to learn the presentation, the wordings, the phrases. It's hard to you as a non-Chinese. You don't know Chinese, right? Can you read any Chinese word? Yes. How to say yourself in Mandarin? 我. Yeah, and then yourself. 我 only means I or me. If you have to emphasize myself, the self, you have to emphasize self, myself. 我自己. So you have to learn the difference between I and myself in Mandarin, in Chinese. Okay? So not just the sound, but the word. Okay? So just like English, I and myself are different, right? Okay? I and me, we can still use the same sound. 我. Okay? We don't have subject I or object me. We have the same sound. 我爱你，你爱我. Okay? You can speak to your partner. 我爱你，你爱我. Okay? When you emphasize self, English is different. Chinese is also different. Yeah. Can you speak a few words in Mandarin so that I know your level? Yeah. At least I can understand you. Yeah. Continue. Though not exact, not correct, but at least I can understand you. Try a few more. Yeah. I can understand. I can guess your meaning. You know some terms. You can pronounce some terms in a similar sound, but not exact sound, alright? But at least you can express in a similar Mandarin sound. I can guess, I can try to understand because I have come across different students from different countries learning Cantonese, learning Mandarin, speaking English, speaking Mandarin. When I come to the US, 90% US people speaking English. I can fully understand and then they can fully understand me. But those who live in their own community, small community, maybe they have never left their city or their state or even the US. They speak their local phrases with local accent. I have difficulty to understand them. And vice versa. I always ask me, please speak English. I say that I'm speaking English. Okay? So you have no problem in understand my English, right? I have no problem to speak to English-speaking people. And then if you try to rate a foreigner speaking English from 1 to 10, what mark you will rate me? You will rate my English for a foreigner speaking English. 10, no, you give me 10, thank you. Nearly native standard, yes. That's why over 90% who can speak English well, who use formal English, okay, even British English, but formal standard English, not those slangs or local sound, local accents, local phrases. You know, even they write English on the Facebook, wow, no grammar at all. Okay, and so when they speak also, they, for example, some words English words have a few syllables, right? They cut away all the syllables, just say one syllable, so I can't understand them. So you can see that in conversation, even you are native, if you don't speak well, people, the foreigners, cannot understand you, and then because they are not used to foreigners, even you can speak some similar sound, they can't understand you. And then if they can understand English, they can ask you to express in English first. Okay, to ask question, to express in English first, and then I try to explain to you in English so that you understand, and then I try to teach you how to say in Cantonese or Mandarin. All right. After you, now I understand the meaning, I understand what I am now going to pronounce, I know the meanings, I know the usage. Okay, now I only learn how to pronounce it. That's it, okay? Yeah, so okay, never mind. So we are not in a hurry. I just want you to understand how you should choose and what to choose when you are thinking about having a Mandarin teacher, okay? Of course, the accent is important, right? But I can teach you the basic sound, the usage, because I'm a Chinese teacher. What I mean Chinese teacher is we are in Hong Kong, we use Cantonese to teach written Chinese. Some people will think that, you can't speak Mandarin, how can you teach Chinese? I say that Mandarin and Cantonese are only two different streams of pronouncing the Chinese words. Do you understand? Some say that, oh, because Cantonese is dialect. No, Cantonese is not dialect. Cantonese is even earlier than Mandarin, all right? Cantonese is closer to classic sign in the past. Mandarin only has 100 to 200 years, or even you can just say a few hundred years when it starts. But when it becomes official language, it is only around 100 years. So now there are two existing pronouncing systems of the Chinese wordings. Okay, make clear. Okay, so of course I can teach Chinese if my Chinese standard is high. Okay, that means I how to read the Chinese books, how to understand, how to comprehend, how to write the Chinese letter, how to use the Chinese character. Of course, because I am a Chinese teacher for so many years, and then I teach high schools, become lawyer, accountants, or secretary. They still come to evening class for me to teach them advanced Chinese. Cantonese people, of course, can teach Chinese. Okay, only that we use different sound. Okay, we don't use the Mandarin sound, but it doesn't mean that our Chinese is the Chinese standard is lower. Only when the Hong Kong Cantonese people, their Chinese standard is weak, is low, because they never study Chinese well. They spend all the time they study English. You know why, right? Because Hong Kong is international city. But their own Chinese language, they never pay attention. They never study hard. So even they are native, they know how to sound the words. Actually, they don't know how to write. They always write with mistakes, with errors, and they cannot write good advanced Chinese. All right. So I think this also applies to those English native. If they don't study their language well, they can only speak. They cannot write well. You see? They can write advanced articles. So I can even write Chinese poem, Chinese literature, Chinese novels. So not any American people, English people can write English poem, English novels, right? Yeah, that's the meaning. So I want you to understand the similarity and the differences behind. So when you choose and when you learn, you know how to choose, you know how to learn, all right? So in the coming lesson, if we continue, then I will teach you the basic pronunciation and then with some daily conversation. Because I know that your main purpose is to communicate, right? Yeah. So do you want to grasp the exact sound by learning from the basic pronunciation of the different parts of sound before you can grasp the words, the phrases in conversation? Is it? Okay, good. You spend some more time to learn the basic sound, but it's good. After learning the basic pronunciation, when you come to the word and phrases, then you don't need to go back. How to pronounce this word? Is it bao or is it bao? No, you don't need to come back because you already know how to make every part of the sound clear by looking at the romanization letter. And then when I write you the phrase, the letter of this word, the letter of this phrase, you by looking at the letter, you already know how to pronounce it. All right? Then you don't need to go back. Then I will show you a table. I will teach you one by one. And then B, with A, will become BA, ba, your father, your daddy, mama. Okay? Sometimes we also call our mother as mummy or 母亲. We have different wordings. In English also, you have a mummy, your mom, your mother, right? Right? You have different words, different sound. But the same meaning. Flower, 买花, 花 is flower. Because you can't read the Chinese letter, so I won't give you the Chinese wordings, but I will give you the English meaning. So you can see from your document with all those words and sounds and phrases and sentences that you learn in my classes. This one is for my another student. I'll give you a new one. So you can see that besides the Chinese wordings, you can see the romanization letters. You can see the English, right? For example, enjoy the full moon. Okay, how to say the moon, how to say the full moon, how to say enjoy the full moon, how to name the different foods you find in Mid-Autumn Festival. And then the Mid-Autumn is coming. Do you want to learn those simplest wording from how to address people? For example, father, mother, or how to or the different names for the food for the Mid-Autumn Festival. As you want to learn the Mid-Autumn first, all right? Okay. Yeah, because it is coming. Just I think 1 1 month only. 1 month only. So 1 month maybe we have 4 classes, and then we really need 4 classes to learn the basic sound and also to learn the wordings for mid-autumn. So we can start from this, or maybe in between we can add some. For example, your partner's daddy, mommy, your partner, if she has a big family, you can also tell me. I can also teach you how to name them. When you see them, you know how to name them, how to address them. Okay, so I don't think you need how to address your own family, right? Because I think all your own family won't speak Mandarin, right? Okay. In Mid-Autumn Festival, do you want to learn some Cantonese to address that? Maybe you learn Cantonese from Mid-Autumn, or to how to address them in Cantonese first, because your partner's family all speak Cantonese, right? Yeah, because I also teach Cantonese. I don't mind that I teach you 2 languages. So do you want that the few coming classes, I teach you Cantonese from Mid-Autumn first? And how to address your and how to address your partner's family members first, so that you can communicate with them well, you can enjoy the festival with them, and so that you might give them a good impression. You can speak Cantonese now, right? Yeah, and then you try to learn Mandarin later. Why don't you learn Cantonese first before learning Mandarin? Why? I mean your coming schedule. Why don't you choose to learn Cantonese first before learning Mandarin? Okay. I see. That means you won't stay in Hong Kong for a long time, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you won't be staying in Hong Kong long. So you want to learn Mandarin, not Cantonese, right? Okay, good. But for yes. Yeah, so as the festival is coming, and also you are still in Hong Kong, so it's good for the coming few lessons. We learn Cantonese first. That's good. That's great. And then if you just learn a few lessons for Cantonese, then I won't teach you how to pronounce the Cantonese pronunciation exactly. But I will also show you the Cantonese table, so you can see that actually the tables are very similar. The sounds are different. All right. Yeah, but I won't go one by one for the Cantonese. I only teach you how to pronounce the Mid-Autumn related terms in Cantonese for the coming few classes. And then we start learning the basic Mandarin. All right, so you can see whether I suit you. You can never find one who can use English to speak to you, and then who can teach you Mandarin and Cantonese well. I don't think so. Of course, I think that you can find one better Mandarin teacher, but she, as I said, that it doesn't mean that all native people their written Chinese, the written language is really good, or the sense that how to make difference between these two. For example, there is a joke, a very funny joke happened in the press conference between the China leader and the U.S. leader. I think at least 10 years or 20 years ago, that when I was young, I know this news conference come out to be a laughter, okay? Because you know that we are humble, and then when you praise some Chinese people in Mandarin, they will always say that nani. Actually, the sound for nani, this word actually means where. But in our daily conversation in Mandarin, when we say when people praise us, we say nani. It doesn't mean where. It means we are humble. That means thank you. In English, it's thank you, but it is more than thank you. It is a humble term that I am not worth of your praise. Okay. You praise me too much. That's the meaning. But in English, we seldom reply in this way. Right? We only reply, thank you so much, to show our gratitude. For English for English speaking people, they will show their gratitude. Thank you so much. You are so nice. You are so kind. Right? In that way, right? But in Chinese, we will mean I'm not worthy of a praise. You praise me too much by saying nani. All right. but you can mean where. So the one of the journalists, I should say the interpreter, when he or she try to interpret, he doesn't know too much Chinese culture or Chinese ways of terms expressing their attitude, the humble attitude. Then he thinks that it is where, so he interprets as where, and then of course the U.S. leader funny phrase change. Why I praise him, and then he say that where. That means I praise you, your whole character. I don't praise any part of your body or anywhere of your room. No, I don't mean where. Okay, so it is a great fun, right? Yeah, it is a joke. So so even he know how to pronounce, but if he is not really have a in-depth knowledge of that language, he still cannot understand. For example, especially those young person, okay, their standard in their native language actually is quite low, because nowadays your youngster they seldom study hard, especially about the language, right? They may study hard about AI, about internet, right? But not language, even their own language. So there is another joke in Cantonese, alright? We call a simple meal as a 便飯, okay? But nowadays few people say 便飯. The youngsters maybe have never learned about 便飯 or heard about it. But actually, in my generation or my previous generation, those educated person, humble person, just now the leader say 哪裡, alright? We will say come to my home for a simple meal. We will say 來我家吃一頓簡單的晚餐. Cantonese will say 便飯. 便 that means convenient. That means we just make a meal in a very convenient way. That means in English it means a simple meal. Okay, but 便 in Cantonese it also means the expression. The feces. Okay, same sound, same word, but that the Chinese characters can mean exactly different meaning. Even same sound, same word can mean different. Okay, so this bean, when you include it with rice is rice. When you connect it with fan, and then when you use it in a humble way, it means a simple meal. But the student who has learned a bit Cantonese, just like you know a bit about Cantonese and Mandarin, then he think that 便飯 is question. I have just learned that 便 means expression, means phrases. So how can you ask people to come to your home to have such kind of meal? Oh, so horrible! I won't come. Okay. So and then of course when Chinese say a simple meal, it is really not a simple meal. Don't trust the Chinese people when they say that, oh, come to my home for a simple meal. Never. It should be a very delicious meal, at least a few dishes. For Chinese people, they won't invite you to their home just for a simple meal, just like let me say that, just like the European or American people. It's really simple. When they say simple, it's really, really simple, okay? Maybe just a hot dog or some bread with some dressings for you. No, when we say 便飯, at least we have cooked rice, at least we have vegetable, at least we have a few dishes, at least we have meat, 1 or 2 dishes of meat. Actually, that's not bean, right? That's already quite a very long movie, meal, right? And then sometimes it is a full table of dishes. When we say 便飯, it depends on the owner, okay? But usually at least a few dishes, okay? So I would like to let you know that what kind of teacher I am, what kind of teaching I will use, and then what way of communication I will go with you. So I will tell you some fun, some jokes. I want to make your class interesting. Of course, this is a child class. I want to let you understand more. So maybe I speak more and then you speak little. But in the future class, because I need you to practice, all right? So I will try to maybe half and half, right? After teaching you, and then you have to practice. Sometimes you have to practice a few times. I also have to show you a few times. For example, we can now try some basic pronunciation.